Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to do a video on this Kylie Lip Kit as well as this Kylie Lip product. The difference between the two is that one is matte and one is velvet formulation, so they have different textures to them. This one came with the lip liner. I did not purchase a lip liner to go with this, but I do always use lip liner, so I've tried it every which way and I will speak to that. So this is going to be a very unpopular video. Whenever you do a video about somebody like a Kylie Jenner, a Kim Kardashian, or a Kat Von D, sometimes people just have opinions about your opinion without actually hearing what you have to say. And that's fine, because there's people who I really, really love, who I'm very passionate about, and I will defend to the death. And that's okay. If you feel that way about Kylie, I get it. I think she is lovely and charming, and I've actually become a fan of hers in the last couple of months, mostly since she became a mother. There's something about her as a mother that I find very charming as a character. So I get it. I like her too. I'm not a diehard fan. I am, if we're being honest, just so you know where I'm coming from, I am a Kim K fan. I love Chloe. I love their mom. Those are the people who I watch. You know, if I'm going to watch or I'm going to follow, those are the people that I watch or follow. That being said, I'm definitely more intrigued by Kylie. I've been following her a little bit more, and it's because I was following her that I did end up purchasing her product, and it was also because of another friend that I bought a product. So I'm telling you all this because, hey, it's just fun to share. I am like a makeup nerd. I like to hear about the way people feel about makeup and what they collect and what they wear and what they buy in spite of the fact that they don't wear it and all of that. So I am sharing that with you. So hopefully you find all of this somewhat entertaining. So I was on some sort of page on Instagram. I don't even know if it was Kylie's or if it's just that feed that just happens to feed me a lot of Kardashians because I follow so many other people in the family. And she had shared, I want to say it was like a blush or lipstick or something, but it was the most beautiful color. It was sort of like in that nude world, but pinky pink. And I thought that is so pretty. I have to track it down. And then I couldn't remember what it was. And I thought I made a mental note of the name and I couldn't. And then finally I just searched and searched and searched and I figured out it was Posie K. So I went and I decided that I was going to order the Posie K kit, which I did. And at the same time, a very good friend of mine, who is also a makeup lover, she and I do chat nerdily about makeup. We have for decades now. And she was wearing the most beautiful shade of lipstick. Now, her makeup is always on point. She's like stunningly gorgeous and everything's always perfect. But the colors she wears are not usually the colors that I would wear. So I always want, I always want to hear her thoughts. I always love getting her advice, but it's not necessarily like, oh, she's wearing that lipstick, I have to buy it, because her skin tones, she's lighter than I am. I think her undertones are slightly different, maybe not so much. She's also East Indian, so we come from the same background, but her skin tone is definitely different than mine, and things that look really good on her don't necessarily look really good on me. This lipstick was so beautiful. I had a feeling that it would look good on me, and honestly, I didn't even care if it looked good on me or not because it was so pretty. I just had to have it. So of course I reached out to her. I asked her what it was called. She told me it was this one right here, which is called Surprise Me, and this one's the velvet. I don't know if I can't remember if this comes in a different formulation or if this is the only one. So again, she may or may not have been wearing the velvet, but this was the color. So anyways, I had to get it. So see, you don't always just buy stuff because celebrities are wearing it. Sometimes your gorgeous friends with their perfect makeup also inspire you. So thank you, Mariam. So I got both of them. She loves it. It works, as far as I know, she loves it. It works really well on her. It looks beautiful on her. I'm definitely going to chat with her more on her thoughts on the line as a whole, so I will not speak on her behalf except to say that she's the inspiration for my purchase. I have very strong opinions though. So again, don't hate on me if you're a Kylie lover. I just want to share my opinion about makeup. It is my opinion and my opinion alone, and I also want you to know a little bit about me so you understand why it worked on me a certain way or why I liked it or why I disliked it. And that is, I think, the fun of YouTube. So here we go. Here comes the fun. So there are two makeup products that I love the most. One is basically lip liners or anything that goes over the lip liner. lip care, basically anything that goes right here. The other is foundation. So I have very, very strong opinions on both of these things, more so than any other category of makeup. Lip liners I'm very passionate about. I think everybody should use a lip liner when they use a lip product. I think that it makes it look nicer. I think it gives you better definition. I think it definitely makes your lipstick last longer. I think it's like a protective barrier for whatever you put on top. So I think it makes that pop better and look better. And I say all this just because I did work face to face with people in the beauty industry for a while, and it always blew my mind how many people, and these are people who are not that into makeup. Like, I don't think you have to preach to people who are like makeup obsessed about lip liner, like they know what you know what lip liner does. But people who like makeup but aren't like all about it or want to keep it really easy, a lot of them really will not wear a lip liner to save their lives. And I'm always stunned by this. Like, I want to go on it's like some sort of campaign about how everybody should just wear lip liner, because I think it's one of the best makeup items out there. And because I feel so strongly about it, I tend to, when I learn about a new brand, I tend to want to start with their lip liner, like lip liner or mascara or something that, like, where I've tried so many of them and I know the really, really good ones, the ones that work like so well for me. And I have brands that I really, really like for lip liner. And if I wasn't a makeup junkie, I honestly wouldn't, I could have ended my search like 5 years ago, because I already know what those lip liners are. But because I'm a makeup junkie, I always want to try new things. And I think an important thing that each brand does is they have certain color palettes that reflect who they are. And so Kylie was interesting to me because twice now I found colors that I was so stunned by when I saw them on like Instagram or on YouTube that I felt compelled to buy them. So this is why we try new things, because you always want to find like the next best thing or something that's a little different than what we already have. So in terms of color, Kylie Cosmetics is a win. I think her color palette is beautiful. I think the colors she had, they're not all for me. They're not colors, a lot of them are colors I wouldn't wear, but I think they're really beautiful and I think they're really expressive, and I think you get a sense of the brand just even purely just based on like lip colors alone. So both of these colors did look good on. I'm actually not wearing either of them today, and I will tell you why. Normally I would like to wear the thing that I'm telling you about, but there's reasons that I'm not. So the color is the one thing that I will not complain about at all. This is the lip liner that goes with this. It has the same name, so it's also named Posie K. I feel like the texture will always make the color a little bit slightly different. But so these are the colors. The darker one is the Surprise Me and the lighter one is the Posie K. And I'm going to go in, actually I'll just draw it on first. And the Posie K Lip Liner is right next to it. So it's basically the same. I mean, when the Posie K dries down, it's, I would say, a slightly different color, which I think is, it's to be expected. I mean, lip liner is supposed to do something a little bit different and it has a different texture. So I have no complaints about her color palette at all. And then the packaging is cute. Huda Beauty did a box like this. She's not known for it. Oh no, I guess she is. Her packaging is like this with the colors on top. I like the packaging. It's simple. It's nothing that I have to keep, but it's simple. I'm actually thinking of another Huda one, which I did a video for, which I will link below if you want to check it out. That is a lip product I love and highly recommend. And now on to why I didn't love this Kylie makeup. So I had the same issue with all three of these things. The lip liner, the matte liquid, and the velvet liquid. The biggest issue I have is that I did not like the texture. I shouldn't even say that. The texture of the way it looked was okay. It wasn't bad, but I didn't like the way it felt. The texture felt on my lips. So I've been around long enough to know that the whole stay put lipstick thing is not new as of the last 5 or 10 years. Like, these are things that people have been attempting to do probably since the beginning of makeup. But I certainly remember their trials from like the 80s and the 90s. I was a kid in the 80s, but like I was a kid who loved makeup, so I played with it. Not well. And as anybody who's seen pictures of the 80s knows, like, none of us looked cute. But we thought we were super cute back then. So we had makeup, we played with makeup. They tried to sell us on certain things, and I think it was more of a late 80s, early 90s thing, where a lot of the drugstore brands, so I am comparing apples to oranges a little bit here, but the drugstore brands were making like these different kinds of stay put kits. So some of them you'd brush on the lip and then you'd put on the powder, and then some of them like were more of a stain, like an actual stain, like a little bit more liquidy. So the things that we're enjoying now are not new by any means, but I feel like the quality of what we're getting now is much different, because what we have now is so good. Like, you can literally put on a lipstick and it'll be on all day, whereas that stuff back then, like, if it stayed on all day, it wasn't for the right reasons. And a lot of times your lips felt dry, they looked dry, they'd even crack, and then you'd have like that odd thing that happens when you have lipstick on and you have like a crack here and like a flattened dry part. Like, I know it sounds awful, but it's true. If you have dry lips, you've been through it and you know exactly what I'm talking about. The reason I'm talking about all this stuff that happened in the late 80s and the early 90s is because it's been several decades since I've had that experience or that feeling with makeup on my lips from a good quality product. Now, if you buy like dollar store stuff, that maybe that happens, I don't know. But when you're buying something that's higher end, and even if you're buying something at the drugstore, my expectation is that that will not happen. I will not get that feeling. I will not have these like images from like when I was a kid playing with makeup and having my lips feel a certain kind of way. And my lips felt that way when I used all three of these products. And it really shocked me because, you know, a lot of this stuff is made of the same few factories. Like there's just certain super brands that own a lot of other brands, and like everything's basically coming off the same conveyor belt. I don't know which conveyor belt this comes off of, but it felt like it was coming off a conveyor belt from like 30 years ago. And it surprised me because the way it sat on my lips just really evoked the Revlon or the whatever it was that I had tried on as a kid. That dry, you know, that made my lips feel dry. It made me feel like there was just something sitting on there. And it is not equivalent to the other liquid lips that I use. So I use a lot of different brands. KVD Vegan, which used to be Kat Von D Beauty, the Huda Beauty. Those are like my top two, but there's several other brands where I will use a liquid lip, like a Bobbi Brown or whoever, and they all have their own feel. Like, you can almost tell, you could close your eyes, have somebody else put the makeup on you, and you kind of know, okay, this one is like the Bobbi Brown, or this one's that, because they all have like a different, slightly different thing going on. And what I can say for all of the ones that I like, and even the ones that I think are perfectly fine, but I don't necessarily gravitate to because they're not my favorite, they all still feel pretty good on. There's certain kinds of lip products like matte, like, you know, like I know I have something on my lips. They're not like naked and organic or whatever. I know I'm wearing a product, but it's comfortable. Like, it's like in a good way. Like, you want to look in the mirror and see if your makeup still looks good because you feel like you're put together today. You got something on. When I was using these Kylie products, it's like I knew there was something on my lip, but it didn't feel right. It didn't feel like what a lip product is supposed to feel like. It felt very dry. It felt like I had like a layer of something on my lips. And I don't want to over exaggerate it. It's not that like it was cakey, flaky or whatever. It was more the feeling of like there's something there and it doesn't feel right. And again, every brand has a slightly different feel to it, but they all feel good to me. Some better than others, which is why I choose them. This didn't feel right. The other issue with this is that I felt that the matte was like almost too matte. It almost reminded me of like those lip kits that you would have back in the day where you'd put it on and then you put the powder on top. And that's a great technique. I actually do that all the time. But I can literally put on a lip product and put powder on top and have it feel good. Like, the powder will like seal in the color and make it feel locked and secure, and it feels nicer. Whereas this feels like back then where you just felt like you just put another layer of stuff, like you just spackled more stuff onto your lips, and it just felt a little uncomfortable. The bigger issue though for me was at the end of the day. So when I have an all-day product, I do expect it to stay on all day. I have had very good luck with that. I put in the work. I use the lip liner. I prep my lips in advance. I'm not just slapping it on. When I slap it on, I expect it to do whatever it's going to do. But when I properly do my lips, I expect it to be there at the end of the day, unless I do something like, you know, if you aggressively wipe your face, then it may or may not be there. Sometimes they still are. At the end of the day, I was surprised. My product was still very much there, but not in the way I wanted it to be. So when I use the brands that I really like, that I use regularly, at the end of the day, if I haven't messed with my mouth, if I haven't like been aggressive or eaten too many things or whatever, my lips will still look nice. Will they look nice at the beginning of the day? Not always, but they'll still look nice. And if I have a matte finish to the lip product, it will still be a matte finish. It still has that same quality. My lip liner will still be underneath supporting it, but the actual product is actually still there. The interesting thing about this pairing, and even when I did this with like somebody else's lip liner, is that the color is still there. The stain is still there, but the quality and the texture that you want when you pick intentionally a matte versus a velvet versus a, you know, something that has like more sheen to it, that was gone. So for me, it wasn't even an issue. I'm not even complaining that the product didn't last, because I think you get this product to last. It's not even a lastability issue, because clearly there was something there at the end of the day. It was the fact that what was there at the end of the day was more of a stain. I felt like my lips were stained. And when I bought this product, when I bought this product, I bought it, yes, mostly for the color, but I did like the fact that it was matte. I do wear a lot of mattes. That's my favorite thing. I like that texture. I like that look. I like that there's a certain kind of finish to your makeup when you have a matte versus a different style. And the matte wasn't there, and the stain was, and it was the kind of stain that made me think of, it was like a better quality, like a Kool-Aid stain, right? It wasn't like color with texture to it. It just looked like, okay, my mouth has a pop of color. If you saw me from across the room, you might think it looks nice. In fact, it might even look nicer than some of the brands or the lip products that I actually like and would recommend. But the issue for me is that it had more of a like stain quality of like a popsicle mouth or a Kool-Aid mouth, and that is not a look that I like on myself. I think it's cute when you're younger. I think it's cute, like when you're younger, you have a certain look, you have a certain flush to your skin and what have you. And I think that could look really cute on a younger person. I don't like that look on myself, and I don't think a lot of people my age particularly care for that look. And the biggest issue of all, and the reason that I really don't, I sort of hesitantly continue to wear this to test it, was because with those other liquid lips, they stay on all day. But when I go in with a proper cleansing method, when I've removed my makeup, regardless of what kind of good quality makeup remover I use, that product is gone. Like when I decide it's gone, it's gone. It comes off, my lips are their natural color, and I could proceed with like my nightly ritual for my skincare and my lip care. When I was taking this off, it took a little bit more work because the color had like seeped into my lips. Because again, I keep using the word stain, and I apologize that I can't come up with a better word, but staining is really the problem for me here. It's the ultimate problem. The texture issue, I don't care for it, but maybe I would grab for it again because the colors are so beautiful. But the staining bothers me because in order to get rid of that stain, you have to work much more aggressively. Now you're messing with your skin, and the all of your skin should be treated with care, but the skin on your lips is particularly sensitive, especially if you already have dry lips and you're already working so hard to hydrate them and get them to look really good. And now you're having to like scrub. And think of it this way. Some of you may have a lip care ritual and some of you may not. I certainly do. I like to, let's say once a week, not exactly, but about once a week, I like to do a very gentle exfoliation. It's a physical exfoliation, right? So for me to feel like I really have this product off, I either need to scrub or I need to do that gentle exfoliation. Not a big deal, I already do that. But I do it like once a week. And if I were to use this product 7 days a week, I would pretty much feel the need to do that 7 days a week. Now I'm doing something that's I consider to be very aggressive for my lips, 7 times more than I should, so that I can remove a product that was supposed to make me look cute. But all I'm really doing is like damaging my skin. I mean, maybe that seems aggressive to some of you, but that's the way I look at makeup. Like, I love makeup, I love color, I own obscene amounts of it, and I spend a lot of time, you know, testing stuff out. I love it, but at the end of the day, your skincare is really the most important part of your makeup. And the skincare is the most important because it's taking care of something that's important, which is your skin, which is part of your body, which is going to be with you till you die. And if I'm having to mess with my skin in order to make a product work, then it is not a product for me. Again, I'm talking specifically about how this product works on my skin and how I relate to it. This might not be the case for you. You might find that at the end of the day, it's completely gone and that works for you. You might find at the end of the day, it looks as beautiful as it did, and you may or may not have to struggle taking it off. If you don't have to struggle taking it off, not an issue. If you do have to struggle taking it off, it's like a personal thing, right? When I was younger, I might not have cared so much because when I was younger, I would go to bed with my makeup on, which is an awful thing to do, and I wouldn't definitely not do that as an adult. But it depends on who you are and what you're up to. I do not condone going to bed with your makeup on, but I've done it myself, so do what you gotta do. But for me, it was the fact that the makeup, it's made in a particular way that it almost feels like there's two separate properties. There's like the stainability, and then there's the texture. The texture doesn't feel good, and the stain is working on too aggressively. And those are two things that I can't deal with. Whereas my other lip products, it's like the color isn't necessarily a stain. The color is like melded into the product, and when you put it on, it's like on top of your lips. It stays there as long as it's supposed to, and then when it's time for you to take it off, it comes off without you having to aggressively tug or scrub or do anything. And so to me, that's where we're at. That's the gold standard. That kind of product is absolutely available. A lot of brands do it well. Some do it better than others. They do have good color ranges, and so I will continue to support those brands and purchase their items and wear them and repurchase them when they're done. This is something I have no interest whatsoever in ever purchasing another Kylie Lip Kit or an individual lip product. And it bums me out because I think her color palette is so beautiful. Like, there's a part of me that almost thinks that I would consider it if I found the right color. But the truth is, I don't like the way it feels, so the chances of me putting on is pretty slim. I'm probably going to end up like taking it off and as best I can, and then, putting something else over that's comfortable, because comfort is very important with makeup. I will say one last thing. I'm particularly bummed out about the lip liner because I didn't find it was as creamy as some of the others, and not all of you are looking for creamy, like I get that. I like something that's creamy and stays put, because I find that it's just easier to work with. You're not dragging it across your face, but because they're formulated so well, they will stay on. So it's not like creamy necessarily means it's going to melt off your face, because there are some gels and creams that they kind of go away. Like, they're easy to work with, but then they're gone in 5 minutes. I'm talking about the ones that are creamy. They go on well, but they stay on. This isn't as creamy as those, so I didn't like the feel. However, when I first put on this lip liner, actually I think it was like day 3 or day 4, because I tested for about a week or so, maybe a little bit longer. When I put this on, it was one of those lip liners that, at least color-wise, it was so beautiful. And even the look in the mirror of the texture, not the way it felt, but the way it looked in the mirror, it looked so nice that I basically just put a little chapstick, and I use the word chapstick, but I'm never talking about actual chapstick. I'm talking about good quality lip products. I put on my good quality lip product over it, and it was beautiful. Like, in the mirror, in a picture, it looked stunning. This girl's got her colors down. She's bumming me out because it didn't feel good, and I didn't want to keep it on. I ended up putting like other things on with it at some point in the day, because I wanted it to look better and feel better. So, Kylie, you bummed me out with your lip kits. I waited years and years and years till you could get it together, and it's just not for me. Again, dry lips. I'm not 15. I like a particular kind of thing, and I don't care for the staining, and I don't like the way it feels. So I'm not a fan. I will not be purchasing them again. I can't personally recommend them. That being said, again, she didn't become a billionaire for nothing. I think a lot of you guys do love these. I think they work for you. They either work for you because they aren't doing that to your lips, or they work for you because you don't care that they're doing that to your lips, because you're getting what you want out of it. And I think at the end of the day, we all have to purchase what works for us. So if this works for you, I'm very happy for you, and I'm a little jealous of you because I really wanted them to work for me. I'm still in love with these two colors, but honestly, I feel strongly enough about it that I actually want to return these items. Like, if we weren't going through what we're going through right now, I might very well be, you know, at the Ulta counter saying, am I able to return these? Do you have the same policy as Sephora? Because if I had purchased these at Sephora, I would definitely be returning them because I know they would take them back. So anyways, that is my very honest opinion of Kylie Cosmetics. These were the first items that I ever purchased from her brand. I am not, I wouldn't judge the entire brand on one item. I don't think that's ever fair to do, but I'm not dying to try anything else. I think there's so many other brands out there, including KKW Beauty, her sister's brand. And I just did a video on that, which has already been posted, so I'll put a link for that below as well. Definitely check out that video. It's another long one. It's longer than this. This was 25 minutes, a lot of talk on basically one item. That's like a 40-minute video, but I go through eyeliners, lip liners, eyeshadow palette, body makeup, and a brush on that one. So it's a very thorough review of a brand that I've been using for at least a year now. And I had very different opinions on KKW Beauty and different opinions on each item. Just as a brand as a whole, I had a very different experience. So definitely check out that video. And again, I linked some other videos below, including that one that you might be interested in. Please subscribe to my channel. They're not all this long, I promise. Let me know if you like the long videos. I personally, as a YouTube fan, like the long videos. I want to settle in. I want to hear some talk. But I get that not all of you like that. So I do have like 70 plus other videos on my channel that are not this long. Few topics, beauty topics, and some other stuff that's coming your way. So thank you for joining me. Please like this video, and please subscribe to my channel and join me again. I will talk to you soon. Take care and have a good one.